So a little bit of backstory real quick. I can remember, and for those that don't know, I am a veteran, served in the military for 14 years, 13 years, 9 months to be exact. It's just easier to say 14. But I was in Iraq, and my first line supervisor was like, yo, I'm about to put this UGK on. And I looked at him like, who? He said, what? Man, you don't know who UGK is. I said, Sarge, I'm from up north, you know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about them. So he persisted to sit me down and give me a briefing on who UGK was. And needless to say, their catalog is so much bigger than just Big Pimpin'.
I'm good.
Can do, everybody. We are the mighty, the Beat Connection. We are in the mix. Y'all already know who I am, Mr. Nobody. I just do a lot of talking, so I'll just go ahead and introduce y'all to the panel. We have to my left, you're right, depending on how you looking, singer-songwriter, producer,
Alexa Gold.
Hey, and then to the bottom, we have our resident Human Torch. We have
Azrael DiCaprio.
Raw Deal Squad Entertainment. Y'all already know. But I'll say this, right? So sometimes, for the most part, we're a product of our environment, right? Now, with us all collectively being from the East Coast, up north, Philly, if you will, you know what I'm saying? We're privy to a particular sound. And being a young man coming up in Philly, you know, we're not really privy to the down south sound. But man, was I introduced. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and ask who wants to raise their hand.
Oh, Ree, you got this one. I want to hear what you got to say.
No, you know what's crazy? Let's flip it around.
Shizz,
you go first.
Oh, I get to go first.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, surprise, surprise. Okay, so
like your connection to this seems a little more personal. So
yeah.
You go first.
You know what? And you're absolutely correct, because not for nothing, all of my in-laws reside in Texas and New Orleans. So I was heavily introduced to everything from Fat Pat to Charlie Boy, UGK, Big Hawk, everybody that comprised of that, you know, King Cooper, you know what I'm saying? For y'all,
that's familiar.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody from that southern region. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig into this UGK, right? The track that we're talking is UGK featuring Ronnie Spencer, called One Day, off of their album Riding Dirty. Pimp C, rest in peace, was the producer, along with a gentleman called N.O. Joe and Mr. 3-2. This was released in July of '96. They sampled the Isley Brothers and I've Been Good to You Part 1 and Part 2. This was off the album Live It Up. The producers being the Isleys, which was released in 1974. And I say all of that to say that one day you're here, baby, and then you go. Yeah. Yo, when I first heard that track,
all right, on the vocals.
Yo,
you hear it?
Stop. Yo, when I first heard that, I could not stop playing it, because I was like, yo, it is such a smooth tune both ways. And I always love when artists take a particular idea and kind of make it ambidextrous, meaning the Isley track was more so talking about a love song, love language or whatever. But then you take the UGK track, which is more of a street kind of thing. One day you're here and then the next day you're gone kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Due to the life of the streets and all of that. Yeah. So big up to when artists do that, because I think it's always dope that you can relate two different things with one kind of similar idea. Yeah. And
like a double entendre.
Yeah.
Exactly. And definitely I want to focus on Pimp C. Not because he passed and rest in peace, because he passed at such a young age, but because if you see him from the outside looking in, you would probably judge a book by its cover. But that gentleman was so much more intelligent and knowledgeable in music than what people probably knew. Like I read something that said he got his start in music, I want to say singing like Italian love songs or something like that. And please correct me if I'm wrong, all my music heads and especially my down south folks. But like, think about that. Like, you would think, okay, it was just the normal beating on the table kind of making my. No, it was literally from Italian. I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, sonnets or sonnets, however you say it. But something like that, and he was such more of a musical genius as far as playing instruments, knowing instruments, and and again, unfortunately due to the fortunately due to the environment that we grew up in and the sound that we grew up on, you would have never thought that. But it's so dope and amazing that like his background was like that, and for the most part his I can't say enough about his music education. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like a self-taught kind of, like, he actually had a lot of music education and music background. And then taking what the Isleys did, which, I mean, that my favorite Isleys track is That Lady, part 1 and part 2. But when I heard that song, and again, when you hear the song, one day you automatically know it's a sample. But then when you dig into the Isley side of it, it's like, wow, again, this is a banger. And before I pass the mic, I'll revisit this. But Ernest Isley, what he does on a guitar, y'all know me. Y'all know I always give shout outs to like the music. You know what I'm saying? The lyrics is the straight and the front man do they thing. But when you just let the band just talk to him,
just go.
I'm a big fan of that. Go ahead, Reed. What you got, dog?
Like, did you want to go next? Or
no, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
That guitar solo during the part 2 section of Ain't I Been Good to You.
Yes.
My God.
Yes.
Listen.
Talk to him.
Jimi Hendrix, Ernie Isley.
Talk to him.
If you don't know how great Ernie Isley is, and I've been on the Isley Brothers aside, right? So, and I might have mentioned this in one of our earlier conversations. If I didn't, I'm gonna say it now. If I did, bear with me. There's a John Stone cover called The High Road. Ernie Isley went crazy on that, right? And it's the reason why I love that record. So as I'm doing research for this episode, and I hear that guitar solo, that might be my second favorite guitar solo of all time.
Ooh, talk to
like
me.
Voodoo Child is probably my favorite. The guitar solo,
oh my God,
I forget which one it is because there's a few of them in there. But there's a guitar solo in Voodoo Child that I put really, really high. And Ernie's guitar solo here is a very, very close second. With that being said, one thing I love about the Isley Brothers and specifically Ronald, his voice carries a pain with it. When they get in when they get in that bag, because like they're really versatile. So you never know what you're gonna get from the Isleys. But my personal favorite lane that they go in is the heartache lane. I love hearing Ronald go where you can feel the pain, you can feel the agony in his voice. And when I thought about that career resurgence he had in the 90s with the whole Mr. Biggs and
real quick too. Referencing back to Ernie Isley,
you
can hear the pain. And if you've never seen a guitar cry, I felt like I watched the guitar cry, dog.
What's the name of that Beatles record? The Guitar Gently Weeps. Like that's how I felt. Like I was hearing this guitar cry. So I'm completely with you, brother. But the career resurgence with He Who Shall Remain Nameless, the dude.
Right.
The Mr. Big saga that him and dude did together.
Right.
Like that heartache is a trademark to Ronald Isley.
Yeah.
Now, I'll transition to the UGK record because I'm emphasizing heartache.
Talk to him, brother. We here.
So, okay, before I go into that, let me give a rest in peace shout out to my man Karee. I literally just got the call before we started recording these sessions. That's my brother. I'll see you in paradise, bro. So part of the reason that hip hop is so, and I feel like Alex, you said this in an earlier episode, the reason that hip hop is what it is because it's the narrative of the people.
Right.
Whatever environment you are in, your music will reflect that.
Right.
Shizz, you gave an RIP shout out to Pimp C. I'm gonna give an RIP shout out to Mr. 32, who has the opening verse on that. He passed away a couple years ago, tragically. I think he got shot outside of at a gas station or something like that. So when I'm listening to his verse, which is the opening verse, it's eerie. It's eerie to listen to because he's speaking as if he knows his time on earth is limited. And of course we all know that, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I might go soon, so bury me here. I might go soon, so here are my last will and testament, if you will.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as sad as that is, it's the reality for our people growing up in that environment. And that's why I love UGK. Shizz, you mentioned it. Being from Philly, you were really late to the UGK train. Really late. But the more and more you branched off, you started hearing more artists mention this album called Riding Dirty.
Right.
You ain't know what it meant. So as I get older, I end up going back to it. And by this time, I'm already a Bun B fan. But
Right.
Because like you said, Big Pimpin' is how Philadelphia and New York, that's how we got introduced. But even then, even with Big Pimpin', I thought Bun B's verse was, oh my God. Like, and as I got older, I appreciated the wisdom that Pimp C was putting in. Pimp C is one of those guys who, like you said, you judge him by the, let's say, aesthetic. Like you look at him and you kind of size him up. It's like, he got a pimp persona. What you gonna really tell me? If you really listen to UGK music, Pimp C is a really wise man. Really wise man. And when I was listening to his verse, the line that stood out to me was my homie just lost his daughter in a house fire. Yo, I heard that and almost tried listening to it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, man. Yeah. That was the line there, yeah.
So this takes me back to, and Lex, I'm gonna let you chime in, and I'm not gonna say too much more this episode because it's hitting home. It's hitting close to home today.
Yeah.
The media always portray hip hop as gangster rap. Sorry, this was our reality. I don't want to get too deep into why it's our reality because that's not what this show is about.
Right.
But there's a reason why that's our reality. There's a reason why I'm rapping this way. There's a reason why I'm angry. And that narrative as angry as sad as that song is, it's a comfort to a lot of people. It's a comfort to a lot of people, and it speaks to the fragility of life. That's why when we promote this show, I tell y'all, I love y'all.
Love you, brother.
I constantly call y'all. I constantly call y'all family, because life. Give me a minute, Lex. You got it.
It's awesome, brother. It's awesome. We're here with you.
Thank you for all of that. And this conversation, you know, it's so real. It's so important, and there's so much love here. So I definitely want to say that first and foremost for anybody that's listening. You know, we love you. We're here, and you know, we're all in this together. Like, we all gotta love and support each other. Like, that's what it's all about.
This three-headed monster is real.
Yeah. It's not just like, you know, we coming into this making a buck. Like, this is love first and foremost. This is family right here. So for me, that line that you pointed out, you know, from the song, that was definitely one of the lines that stood out to me. And the song is so deep. It was funny because yes, we all know how we were introduced to UGK, but when y'all introduced me to this song, I had it on repeat, and I was surprised because I was like, Lex, you listening to UGK like this? Like, I'm listening, man, and it's like it's hitting my heart, like it's touching my heart in such a way. I mean, the production is definitely on point, but you know, listening to what they're saying, what they're talking about, when you talk about one day you're here and now you're gone, it makes me think of course, all the lives that were lost, you know, personally, but definitely in terms of coming out of 2020. I mean, what a year that was, right. You know, the beginning, or even still now, still what we're dealing with, 2021. You know, I'm not going to go into the craziness of all of that, but definitely, you know, when we talk about the fragility, the beauty of life, and how, you know, we got to really appreciate the moments that we have. And also, let me state this too, it's not just about losing life to, like, you know, G shit, or, you know, excuse my language, but like, you know, the gangster life or whatever the case may be. They're talking about different situations, right? You know, like things are happening, you know, in your life, and sometimes you don't even know. It's a surprise to you. That's how quick quick it is, you know. So we all have to appreciate this thing that we have, and we all have to really support each other and stand with each other, you know. And I don't want to preach too much, but definitely for me, you know, this song is definitely, like, I was surprised by how much I really, really loved it. And I do want to point out too, just to kind of like shift gears a little bit, N.O. Joe is, I mean, his history, because I went to, I was trying to like do more research on him, and found this a website where they did an interview with him, and the interview was so extensive, and gladly they let him talk. I mean, him being on Rap-A-Lot Records,
his work with Scarface, my God.
Oh yeah, his work with Scarface. He's worked with so many people from D'Angelo, so many people from the East Coast, bringing like that particular kind of production that he had. He also a very musical person, somebody who brought his musicality to what he did, and somebody just happened to hear him. He started in the business young, but somebody just happened to hear his music and fell in love with it, and that's how he got his start. But such a humble dude, like when you like go through his interviews and stuff, so humble cat, man.
It's something in the water with them New Orleans dudes.
Ooh, man.
It's something in the water with them.
And I was listening, it made me want to, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because like I said, all of the other half of my family, extended family, is out of Texas and New Orleans. And when I say New Orleans, it's such an authentic feel down there. With the music history and just the music, they get busy down there in the NO. So big shout out to New Orleans, yo.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you go through this man's history, it made me want to check out some of the other songs that he did. I particularly checked out Scarface The Diary. I don't know why.
That's my favorite Scarface album.
Really? Oh my God. I don't know what made me choose that one, but I chose it. And I was like, I really like the production on this. Like,
Scarface, and we will have a Scarface episode.
Oh yeah, his work with Scarface. Yeah,
Scarface is one of the greatest lyricists ever. Now you put that with Joe, and let the magic happen. I'm still mad at my dad for letting me hear that album at, I think I was maybe like 7 or 8 when that album dropped, and I was like, fam, I'm not supposed to hear this, but this is amazing. Thank you.
and I will like admit, for me, I didn't really get into Scarface until The Fix. So I didn't get into him.
There you go with your Kanye stand.
No, seriously, because obviously, you know, Guess Who's Back? Right. Look, I mean, because I was a huge Rockefeller fan, so everybody out of you know Rockefeller, I was like really listening to heavy. But like Scarface, definitely, I didn't really get into him until The Fix, you know. And to me, it's a good album. I don't know, so you might go ahead, but
no, Scarface don't have no bad. Scarface has no bad album. Scarface has no bad album. I'm only teasing you because I know how much you love Kanye.
Right. But I will say, you know, N.O. Joe, for the work that he's done. I mean, and these are some producers, like, unless you're like in that area, or you know, like regional producers like that, sometimes you know, because some people are so humble, you know, and some people aren't really out there like that. So you tend to forget, like, unless you're really in it heavy, like you tend to forget, like, yo, it's not just about the ones like who are on like the national stages and all this kind of stuff, or the people who want to be artists, because some producers actually want to stay producers. Like, you know, like some producers are cool with that. And knowing his extensive history and his catalog, man, like definitely major shout out, major love to him for the work that he's done, and also what he's been able to do with UGK. I mean, incredible.
It's funny that you say that too, like that some producers just want to stay producers, because that Riding Dirty album, if you go through the credits on that, Pimp C is responsible for just about like half of the production between him and Joe, like the production on that album. And again, just to go back to what I was saying earlier, as far so Chad Butler, Pimp C, is the son of a trumpet player and has an interest in music since childhood. He came up on a classical background, singing Italian sonnets, Negro spirituals, and he said, just quite frankly, an issue of that nature. And even before studying musical rotation in school, he learned to play many instruments by ear, including piano, trumpet, drums, and the flugelhorn. So again, that speaks to, you know what I'm saying, and again, not to discredit Bun B, because for me, in my opinion, not for nothing, if you're and I hate to do it or compare, but Bun B lyrically, I like Bun B. Right, but not to say that Pimp C was bad, because Pimp C had his own particular style. Right, you know right. He almost kind of like similar to Outkast. Right. Like Andre and Big Boy, kind of like, you know, they're both nice at their particular styles. And it's just a matter of which style you gravitate towards. Yeah. So again, speaking on the production of it, Pimp C was primarily responsible for just about half, if not all, of the production that went into that Riding Dirty album, on top of the fact that was their highest selling album with no singles, and he was responsible for a bulk of the production along with No Joe. So that got, and Pimp C's UGK as a whole, their what's the word I'm looking for, like their reputation in Texas, and as far as Port Arthur, because Port Arthur was in essence a small part, and I think like Joan Jett was like the most famous person, or Janis Joplin I should say, was like the most famous person out of there. So you weren't expecting quote unquote hip hop coming out of there, but they did it. And they broke out and went mainstream, and everybody gravitated towards it. And they, in essence, I don't want to say they put Texas on the map, because again, it's a million probably underground guys that you can talk to, the people from the hoods and everybody that know. But it's like, as far when you think Texas, you primarily think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments and all of that, but you think UGK, and again, Pimp C and Bun B being the focal point of that, and a lot of people love Pimp C out of there. So yeah, man, much love, much respect, big up. Sorry we were so late to the party as far as UGK is concerned, but yeah, he was a musical genius that I don't think a lot of people didn't got to know, and unfortunately because of his untimely death at such a young age, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like when we think Pac and Big, it's like ain't no telling what kind of music would have came.
Yeah, if they would have had more time. Yeah.
Right. Karee, you got any final thoughts, sir?
Let me say, I'll correct you here because somebody's gonna correct you in that comment and they're gonna take it personal.
Go for it.
Houston, when it comes to Texas, Ghetto Boys come first. Scarface and the Ghetto Boys come first.
I give you that.
And anything after that, UGK is right there. I'm not taking away from that. I'm just kind of saving the comment or look, we got you covered.
That's part of the game.
But to your point about UGK, rap a lot. UGK was over there. They're Rap a Lot affiliated. I think they were on Jive, but they're Rap a Lot affiliated. So it's different. Bun B and Pimp C, like you said, Bun B might be arguably the better lyricist, but that's fine. They're dynamic together. There's a reason why Bun B took Pimp C's passing so hard.
Of course.
I can't do this without my brother.
Right.
And those guys are so close. I stumbled across an interview with UGK, and Pimp C was saying he was flunking out of school. Without Bun B helping him, he might not pass Algebra 2. And I think he ended up dropping out later on or whatever. But he was dropping out because they were doing shows and they were getting enough money to where it's like, not to say you should drop out of school, but you know, when you're in that environment, it's like, yo, I'm getting to the money.
Right.
Stay in school, kid. But stay in school. But
PSA.
When you understand the thinking, you know, you kind of get it. But that's how close they were.
Right.
That's how close Pimp C and Bun B were. Again, RIP to Mr. 32. He was a member of the Screwed Up Clique with DJ Screw. That whole Texas sound, and you know, we got caught up in the narrative. I want to give a shout out to the Isleys. That record is incredible. It's been in rotation ever since we picked this song to do. Ernie and Ronald and all them. And if you haven't seen their Tiny Desk, they just put out a Tiny Desk.
Oh, yeah,
I watched it.
Yeah.
That was fire.
Yeah.
You know, so again, RIP to my homie Karee. You know, one day you here, next day you gone.
Right. Yeah. Yes, sir.
We'll see our loved ones again. Like I said, I'll see you in paradise, bro.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Lex, what you got, Lex?
Final thoughts from me. I want to touch upon the Isleys real quick. My favorite song is Footsteps in the Dark. You know, for me, that is definitely like, it's just my favorite song. I love that song. And when you talk about the pain in Ronald Isley's voice, thinking about this particular song, Ain't I Been Good to You, it's actually one of the first times when I hear the strength in Ronald Isley's voice, because usually he's more on the crooning side. A lot of times for his songs, you kind of like hear him more like crooning, but in this song, I actually was like surprised. I forgot, like, or just didn't really know that he had so much strength in his voice. So that to me was a surprise, but it was really amazing to hear. I mean, the song is just dope, but definitely the Isleys as a whole, you can go Google their catalog, what they've done, their history, the awards that they have, their influence on American music. I'm not even gonna go into that. I'll just say this. I love y'all. you know, we got to take care of each other. People in the comments, anybody that's watching, you know, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones. You know, we all we got.
2 fire tracks. Rest in peace, Pimp C. UGK is the truth, and all over the world and all over the map. Definitely. I just want to say shout out to my brother, Regis, Karee. We definitely love you, bro. And again, not for nothing. I debated with even saying this because I don't want to feel like it's unauthentic just for the sake of recording this. But literally, he got the call while we was going through our pre-production stuff, and we weren't going to do it. I was saying like we can just go ahead and push it, but my man said let's go ahead. We'll push through because this will help me and I need this. So he was the one that made the call to go ahead and push through with this episode. So definitely big up to you, and big shout out to you, your family, and to that gentleman family that just recently passed away. We here for you. We love you, brother, and yeah, we ain't going nowhere. And this is real what we do, not just with the music, but for each other. This is all real. Also, definitely want to I'll preface the show with I'm a veteran. I served, like I said, for 13 years, 9 months. Seen my fair share of overseas action, and definitely want to raise the flag half-mast, give my 21 gun salute to all the fallen, to all my fallen brothers and sisters over there with all the events that recently happened in Afghanistan. So definitely want to give a salute to all of those, to the families and everybody over there. So definitely want to give a shout out to them, because I definitely know what y'all are going through. So with all that being said, we are the Beat Connection.
Yes.
We love what we do. We love each other. We love you, our fellow Beat Connectors, for sticking with us, supporting us, absorbing our content and everything. And we're just going to continue to grow and tighten as a group, and again, just continue to hold each other down and hold you guys down as well. So with all that being said, yeah, Lex, go ahead and drop your bars.
Yeah, that was well said. And you know, I don't even want to plug like I usually do. We're going to end it like that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you know, make sure to stay tuned for the next episode, y'all. Love y'all.
Can do.